What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to today's edition of Free Tool Friday. My name is Tyler S. Clark, co-founder of Dream Firms, where we create generational wealth and impact for accounting professionals by systemizing how they attract, win, and retain the business of your dream clients. And to help you to do just that, I want to share with you the automation tool that your accounting firm cannot thrive without. This is not about survival. This is about thriving. And in order to thrive in today's hyper-competitive market, you need to leverage automation as much as you possibly can. So the tool that I'm going to share with you and walk you through to be able to gift you an automation essentially is known as Zapier. Now, again, I don't think most people on here are unfamiliar with Zapier or Zapier, depending on who you talk to. But if you're not, don't worry. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. And even if you are familiar with it, let me show you an automation that we help our clients to get set up that really changes the way that their prospective clients perceive their value before they even have a chance to speak to them. So this is a really cool thing. Remember, perception is reality. You increase your perceived value. Therefore, it's easier to charge higher amounts for your incredibly valuable services. So let me show you exactly the way this runs. It'll take me less than 10 minutes. It'll take you less than 10 minutes to really get it set up too, which is pretty cool. So probably the most productive 10 minutes of your day. So here we go. Let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? So here is Zapier or Zapier. And I'm not going to cover account setup. If you got to pause the video, go set up an account. Everyone's an adult here. They can sign up for a software. I believe there's a free version. If there's not, this is literally one of the most important investments you'll ever make in your business and your life, as far as I'm concerned. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top left and we're going to click on create a Zap. Okay. And a Zap is just a cool little term that essentially represents how do you connect one software to another one? In other words, how do you get this software to talk to this software so that when something happens here, it automatically triggers and does what I want over here as well? And that might sound a little weird, but I'll explain it to you pretty simply here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a software, right? When you see this screen, you say, what's the software that I want to start this automation with? And you say, well, if it's a sales play, right? If it's getting someone to want to buy from us, typically that's going to involve raising their hand, booking a call. And so we recommend Acuity Scheduling. If you don't know what Acuity Scheduling is or how to get it set up, sign up for Igniter. It's $67. It's probably the best. No, it's definitely best $67 you ever spend to grow your firm. So check that out. But you can use Calendly, you can use anything. As long as you have a scheduling tool, it's fine. So you pick your scheduling tool and you get a trigger event. Okay. Trigger warning. No, not a funny joke. Trigger event. So when you have the trigger event, you say, well, how do I know when this starts? And for most of us, it would be booking a free 30-minute consultation. You might phrase it as a free profitability analysis, put a little extra sauce on it, whatever the case may be. And so when you pick your trigger event, the thing is it's not an appointment start. It's not a new product order. It's a new appointment. That's how we know that this is meant to start, right? They book a call and we go, cool. What do we want to happen when they now book a call? And I'll get to that in a second. So you pick a new appointment. You got to make sure you have your Acuity scheduling account linked with Zapier. I'm not going to go through and do that. It's literally like, if you're like connect, if it says like connected, it will just be like, it will just say, click here, click here, click here. And it's basically done. It's like a 3-click integration. It's ridiculously simple. So if you got it set up, you select your account. It'll just let you now select continue. You can't get past the screen unless you do that correctly. And again, it's super simple. Literally anyone can do it. Calendar. You don't need to pick a calendar. Most of you will never need to worry about selecting a calendar. There's a chance you might, but for right now, all you need to worry about is your appointment type. And again, we already covered that. Free 30-minute consultation, free profitability analysis. I have a test one set up. It's test free 30-minute consultation. Okay. So once you pick your appointment type, in other words, again, the link they're using to book a call to explore your services, you're going to click continue. Once you click continue, you're going to need to test your trigger. Now that might sound a little weird, but essentially what you have to do is go literally to your free 30-minute thing and you will open it up, right? You'll literally just say like, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to just copy it and paste it. And you would go through and you would pick a date and time as if you were your own prospective client, right? Like literally, like you'll just say, I'm going to just pretend to go through this thing. And the reason this is important is that when you come back to the Zap and you click test trigger, it has to be able to pull data into it, right? If there's no data to pull, if it's a brand new scheduling link that you've never had anyone book a call through, you'll want to run yourself through it, right? Literally just put your name, test, put in a fake phone number, put in a random email address. And now you'll go, okay, it successfully pulled the information from the one software. The question is what do I want this information to do in another software, right? And that's where the Zap comes into play. Okay, so in other words, we passed this test. We're good to go. Again, if you need to pause it and run through that yourself, feel free to do so. Come back and we'll pick up right from there. Okay, so next part. Now you say, well, what am I connecting this to, right? Where am I driving this particular information to that's going to increase the likelihood that they want to buy? And I'm going to walk you through this because I think it's the best part of today's training, but I'll just pick Gmail. Okay. You could pick any email software that you use. You might use Outlook. You might use ActiveCampaign. I don't care what you use. It doesn't really make much of a difference. But I do recommend that it is actually your personal business account as opposed to like your ActiveCampaign corporate account, like your support at yourfirmname.com. It should be your name at yourfirmname.com. Okay. So now that we've picked Gmail, and again, I'll probably ask you to do the same thing, authenticate it, make sure it gets all integrated. It's super simple and just follow the prompts. It's going to ask you to choose an event. Okay. Now the event here should be pretty straightforward. We're going to send an email. Okay, because this is what I want us to do. They book an appointment, and then I want it to look like you are Mr. on top of it or Mrs. on top of it. It's like they book an email or book an appointment. Boom, there's an email directly from you saying something of high value. And I'll explain what I mean by high value in a second. So we're going to click send email. Now, this is where the cool thing happens. So it's going to ask you to choose an account. I'll go ahead and just pick one of our support accounts. Obviously, you'd want to pick one that's not support. Okay, that account is expired. Let me try one more. And okay, this one works. So here is where things might feel a little complicated because there's a lot of potential things you can do. It's not as simple and straightforward because we have a lot of options now. Don't panic. We'll walk you through it. So 2, this is cool because as soon as you click on it, it's basically saying, well, where are you sending this to? In other words, it says email address. So you want an email address and it's already pulling the information from Acuity. So I just go, I'm going to send it to this email. You don't need to worry about CCing. You don't need to worry about any of that. Your from is basically going to be the email that you already picked, unless you want to BCC an administrator for some reason, or you want to BCC a sales rep or whatever. I mean, you can, of course, do that so that they get a notification. But again, I think that's unnecessary. Support at dreamfirms.com. That's where it's coming from. Or yours would be your name at firm.com. Again, I think this should be personalized. This is just the only one that I have in here for right now. Your from name. Okay. And so the from name, I'm not going to necessarily worry about either. The subject, I'm going to put something and say important information for maximizing our appointment, right? Literally, it's just like you should want to read this because it's about maximizing our time together. And it's going to come from the firm that they literally just booked a call with. So it's pretty straightforward. Body type. Plain, you can use HTML. It's more complicated. Just use plain. Again, this is a super simple automation. And this is what I would do at this point. I'd say, hey, and then I'm going to pull in their first name, comma, right? I maybe went a little fast there, but I just said, hey, literally just clicked on first name and it brings it in. And now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say, and before I do this, I think it's important to cover the 3 items. You could write this however you want. I'll give you some very simple text here, but essentially you're going to just say to the effect, look, really looking forward to speaking with you. I shot this quick video to make sure that we're on exactly the same page for what's going to happen during your free 30-minute consultation or your profitability analysis, whatever you call it. Click here to watch that short video. Now you might be saying, Tyler, where's the video? What do you mean? Click a video. We'll cover that. But so you'll say, hey, really looking forward to meeting with you to maximize your time, right? Your time. I shot this quick video that will help you to be better prepared 24-hour call. Just click this link and I can't wait to speak with you. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay, copy. Nothing wonderful, just straightforward to the point. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is that you can shoot a video one time. I don't know how many of you are frustrated that people show up, they don't necessarily have last year's tax return, they don't necessarily come understanding like what like to pre-frame the conversation around the importance of the investment. So here's the 3 bullet points that I recommend for when you get ready to shoot a video. And I wrote these down ahead of time. So number 1 is like, you got to have gratitude, excitement, and you really want to make sure that they understand the importance of maximizing this particular opportunity. So for instance, I would start off a video and just say, hey, so excited for the opportunity to speak with you. Thank you so much for taking time to book a call. I can't wait to learn more about you. And to help maximize our experience together, I'm going to just give you a heads up on 2 or 3 things that you should be thinking about in advance of our call, right? So in other words, this is again like pre-framing the conversation to get you closer to what you want, which is an appreciation and understanding of your value, therefore an increased likelihood of a sale. So, so again, it's like, think about these things, and it could be any, again, I don't know what your value proposition is or who your dream client is, but you make it specific to that. You might say something to the effect of, I want you to imagine that if you were able to save an extra $10,000 every single year from not overpaying in taxes, and think about the power of compounding interest. If you're unfamiliar with the power of compounding interest, literally like Google it and just type in Warren Buffett, and then it will blow your mind how much of an impact that would have on your life, even just for the next 3 to 5 years. Okay. I also want you to think about, and you might do 1 or 2 other things similar to that. Okay. And another thing that I want you to be aware of is please come with the following documents. Now, if you don't have them, that doesn't mean don't show up for the call, but if you have them, get them so that we can review them together. And honestly, last year's tax return, an updated P&L, or just being able to log into your QBO while we're on the call would be a tremendous advantage to making sure that we're a good fit for one another. Notice I say we're a good fit for one another, not just like, I'm going to work with everyone, make sure we're a good fit. So anyhow, those are pretty much the main ones. So again, open it up with gratitude, excitement, and the desire to maximize. Ask them to have specific documents that will streamline the conversation, but reinforce that if they don't have them, don't panic and cancel. Just say, don't worry. It's just more of like, you might want to think about why you don't have those and what a benefit it would be to not stress about wondering where your last tax return is, because we're more organized than that in our firm. And then do like a nice, real high level. I want you to think about this, like a big future dream outcome based event, saving taxes, having those taxes saved, compound over time. Therefore, you make significantly more and can retire earlier, and yada, yada, yada. Okay. So anyhow, and so I would literally drop the link in here. I don't have the link. If you need to create a video, sign up for loom.com. That'll give you exactly what you need. Okay. And you're done. Like, I don't know what else to say other than like, you're done. You would just literally you could choose a signature if you want. I think it usually will just it does pull in the default signature. So as long as you have a signature set up in Gmail, you'll just be able to pick that. You don't need to worry about attachments. Again, I kept this unbelievably simple. There's a lot more complexity you could have here, but keep it simple. You don't need complex. People don't want complex, and you don't want it either. So there's only one other thing that I could say here, which is that you could still theoretically trigger more automation here, right? You can either click continue. I'm going to click continue just for the sake of making this kind of say, okay, this is fully ready to go. You can take a look at the way it runs. I could run a test and then make sure it works. I'm going to go ahead and just do that. I'm not going to go into my email inbox, but you understand that it shows that it's sent. And now I'd be able to turn the Zap on. So as soon as I turn it on, any future book call, as long as I've tested it and it runs the way I'd like, I'd be able to turn that on and know that anytime someone books a call, I don't even have to think about it. They're going to show up better prepared. They're going to show up eager and excited to work with us. They're going to show up thinking about things that I want them to be thinking about before the call even starts. And that's effectively it. So there's only one other thing, and I'm going to exit this because there's another plus button on the bottom. Okay. Theoretically, you could do more. You could say, well, as soon as they send the email and Gmail after they book their call, I'd really want to maybe I want to create a notification in maybe a TaxStone for my administrator to call them and confirm the appointment details. maybe you want to do that, right? Like that's a realistic thing that you'd want to do. And so you could say, but there's maybe one other thing I do here that would increase the likelihood they show up and increase their desire to buy. And your imagination is your only limitation in how successful that could be. And of course, if you turn your Zap on, it's going to be effectively ready to roll. So I hope you enjoyed today's Free Tool Friday. Again, I think that's a super simple one that a lot of people neglect. And as soon as you do it for the first time, it just opens your mind up to all the possibilities of all the different things you can automate and all the different things you can streamline. And ultimately, that'll help you to have a much more profitable and enjoyable practice. Some might even call that a dream firm. Maybe someone might refer to a really profitable practice that allows them to get repeatable results without investing more of their time. They might think of that as a dream firm. I mean, that's pretty close to my definition. So anyhow, I just want to say, if you've enjoyed this, give me a hashtag proactive in the comment section down below, and never, ever forget to remember that only you can make your dream firm a reality, but we are here to help you every single step of the way. I'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and go automate that firm. Talk to you soon.